Hello and welcome back to Pop Tournaments Podcast. In Pop Tournaments, we take a category of pop culture and let you, the fans, vote on matchups in a single elimination tournament format to determine an ultimate champion. We are here to discuss those results and the upcoming matchups. It is September 7th, 2020. I am Jake Wicker, and I am here with Ryan Barrett.
What's happening, everybody?
And remotely, we are here with Jennifer Schmidt.
Hi, friends.
Jennifer could not be on mic tonight, but she is here with us in spirit. She's working hard, defeating the Scorpion King. He actually came back, and she was the only one who could take care of that problem. So
be grateful.
We wish Jennifer luck battling the Scorpion King this weekend or this holiday weekend. It's Labor Day.
It's a time we should all reflect on, who the real heroes of our country are. The people who are out there every day fighting the Scorpion King.
Exactly. And those laboring away. So, did you get Labor Day off?
I did. It was,
hey, nice.
And it's not a given for me. It just happens to be, it's on a Monday, which is always my day off. So, I kind of lucked out there. I had a very nice little morning. We went over to a friend's house and we watched the first couple episodes of season 2 of The Boys on Amazon Prime and ordered a pizza from Frank from Philly and Andrea Pizza, which is like a mouthful, but their pizza is also a mouthful, and it's a delicious mouthful. It's like New York style, excuse me.
So you either eat it with a fork and knife, or you fold it over, or you just kind of get a mess all over your face. Is that what you mean by New York style?
Yep,
that's the one.
I'm a folder. It just kind of naturally happens with pizza like that. You kind of pick it up and it's like, it's either going to fall straight down or if you fold it, it's like perfect. It's like so
you get a good grease funnel,
Exactly.
Right.
You just
right
pour
there.
it right down the gullet.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love a good piece of za. That's nice. How's The Boys? The Boys are good?
Boys was pretty good. Yeah. I liked season 1 a lot. Season 2 kind of picks right back up. I'm still kind of feeling it out. I don't have a report on it yet. I'll give more info once I'm a little bit further into it.
Better in a group setting?
Sure.
Not trying to put you on the spot. Just trying to get you all tilted for today's episode. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's Labor Day weekend. Here we are, and it's an interesting Labor Day weekend. Normally we would be doing our first annual live broadcast from a State Fair park and ride parking lot, but State Fair not going on, so we can't do our live broadcast from the parking lot. So
thanks
that's
a lot.
It is.
Government.
Yeah, right. No, but there's no reason to be at any sort of events like the State Fair right now. You don't want to get all next to each other. So hope everybody is having a fun Labor Day weekend. It's been beautiful weather, so I hope everybody's been able to get out there and enjoy it. I just mowed the lawn again. Every time we record, I feel like I'm talking about mowing the lawn or doing some sort of stupid lawn work. But
it's very normcore.
That's that's what comes from being a privileged person that gets to mow the lawn every week. So
sure.
That's my privilege.
It's like kind of a humble brag. Like, yeah, I have a lawn.
It might look like shit, but I have it.
Yeah.
Uh, but we're here to catch up on our 80s and 90s one hit wonders tournament. It has been an interesting goings of sort. Been a few upsets that we've talked about on previous episodes, and going forward, the tournament is looking a little interesting. But the most recent updates we have are the 7 versus 2s, and if it's okay with you, Ryan, start in the 80s side of this.
Yeah.
That sound
Let's
good?
let's just dive on in.
Um, right away, we had the safety dance pretty handedly over Let the Music Play, 116-38. Um, Probably saw this coming. It Safety dance probably could have been a number one seed in other people's perspective, but man, Let the Music Play. It's a song that deserves respect, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, this was a bummer. Um, I feel like with a lot of these the songs that I really love and have passion for, it's always cool to see people come out in the comments section and stand for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool to see people defending it in the comments. But yeah, it's a bummer to see a song that, is part of my day-to-day life, like Let the Music Play. It's not, for me, it's not a game. It's not like let's listen to 80s music and have a members only jacket party. It's like I listen to this all the time. This is just my life.
I I remember when I found my first. I think it was one of my uncles had probably left it at my parents' house, but I found a members only jacket in a closet, and was so very excited to try and wear that out and look cool. This was in the 2000s, by the way. I
Oh
was
yeah.
trying to be ironic, yes, of
Yeah.
course, and failed miserably. But
Members only jackets are pretty sweet. Like
they
I would still definitely wear one.
Oh, of course, of course. It's funny. I actually, I'm not going to spoil, but for some strange reason, I always get "Let the Music Play" confused with another song that's coming up later in our discussion
Oh.
here on the 80s side. Yeah, I know it's weird, and I don't know why, but I will make sure and mention it when we get there.
All right.
Um, After that, we had "Melt with You" in the fire matchup over Beds Are Burning. This was
The pyromania
no
matchup.
no matter how unhot the score was, 89-46. Melt with You. Uh, this was the fire matchup. The thing I always associate Melt with You is the all the different commercials. I know we touched on a few before, but especially the Taco Bell one.
Yeah.
I went back and watched that commercial on YouTube. I still can't tell. Is it Andy Sandberg in that, or is it
I don't know.
like
I'd have to revisit it.
we might have to? We'll post it on as a link on this episode and let you guys decide, because it's really hard to tell, and nobody's credited on IMDb for this commercial, so
Huh.
it's yeah, but Beds Are Burning. It got a lot of love in the comment section.
Again, yeah. And this was actually a little bit closer. This is it got past the halfway point. It didn't get doubled up
Yeah,
quite. So if that's the metric you're looking at, it wasn't totally destroyed. But it I think that I Melt With You might be in trouble come round two,
yeah,
just because it didn't get quite as much love as I was expecting. And for a song like Beds Are Burning, which I think there was love for, but it it's not, I don't know. It's not the cultish song that some of these other lower seeds are. For it to come out and put up a fight against "I Melt with You," makes. If I was modern English right now, I would be shaking in my boots.
Well, unfortunately for Beds Are Burning, much like our co-host Ryan Barrett, it had too many awkward pauses
Oh boy.
throughout the song. Dun, dun. Tick, 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 tick. That's how that goes.
That's funny.
Moving down, we had Your Love, one of my favorites, one of my early favorites, Your Love over Voices Carry.
Don't want to lose it.
Yeah, you don't want to lose it. Your Love, another one of those parodied SNL songs. I really liked. I don't know, Ryan, do you remember that sketch they did with Your Love?
With Your Love?
Yeah,
I don't think I do.
it was the kid from the Hunger Games, the not so
PETA?
yes, whoever he was hosting,
Yeah.
and essentially it was a straight on reenactment of the lyrics of the song, and the girls just constantly going, "Wait a minute, your girlfriend's out of town." And you want to cheat on her with me, and then you want me to keep it quiet?
Sounds hilarious.
It does, doesn't it? And you can catch all those SNL reviews on my QAnon page. That's
I don't know if I. Yeah. I'll have to check it out.
oh no, you're not going to let me give you my QAnon handle?
Sure.
It's at fartsnorkel69 on QAnon.com.
But one thing I wanted to mention about Voices Carry is I remember up until like, it wasn't like a when I was a kid thing. This is, in the early 2000s. I thought that the lyrics were hush, hush, keep it down. This is Carrie. Like she was saying her name. And it's just kind of funny now. It's just such a statement. Like it'd be such a weird lyric. Like, shh, keep it down. By the way, this is Carrie speaking.
Why are you giving away all the secrets to Lady Gaga's new single?
Yeah, I don't know.
That sounds like something she would do.
Yeah.
Hush, hush. This is Gaga.
Yeah. Hush, hush. Keep it down now. This is Gaga.
And then rounding out our last 7 versus 2 on the 80s side, we had 99 Loof Balloons. Easily over I Can't Wait, but let's not quickly dismiss I Can't Wait. Fantastic song here. This is the one for some reason I always get confused with Let the Music Play. I don't know why.
It makes sense. It's a similar, it's in the same genre, so I think it makes sense.
Yeah, when you're trying to think of the refrains or the hook of the song, like the beat to I Can't Wait, you could definitely do Let the Music Play too. So that's yeah. I'm a stupid suburban kid. I'm sorry. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Baby, let the music play.
It happens, but yeah, it was a tough matchup for I Can't Wait, but
and you see what I was saying earlier about the modern English versus Midnight Oil band matchup, how they didn't double the score.
Mm-hmm.
If you look over to that matchup, 110-31, that was over tripled.
Mm-hmm.
So just doing some quick math here. I'm showing off for my old math teacher, Miss Hegley.
Shout out Hegley.
Yeah, I barely passed her classes pretty much every time. So proud to be where I am now. I'm like a regular Will Hunting these days.
Well,
I was doing all kinds of multiplying, dividing.
I don't know what to say there. I'm gonna let you choke on that.
Wouldn't that be great if in Good Will Hunting, if he was just like, 30 goes into 110 like 3 times plus some bonus. Like, poof, this is crazy. And then Stellan Skarsgård's like, wow, you're a genius.
I think Stellan Skarsgård was just constantly saying, "Thank you for letting me be in this movie."
Yeah, that was my introduction to him. I like him a lot.
Was that your introduction to the Skarsgård family?
I believe it was, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and
Runs deep.
it sure does. Um, and I think we've been talking about for our next tournament. I know we said we're gonna do something with scary movies. I think it's gonna be all Skarsgård v Sarsgaard related. So just another little spoiler. We're gonna get our favorite 32 Stellan and Alexander Skarsgård movies and put them up against our 32 favorite Peter Sarsgaard movies.
Yeah, you might have misheard us. It was our favorite Scar movies.
Yeah. Good save there.
Well, somebody's got to throw you a life jacket every now and then.
Appreciate that.
So speaking of life jackets, we'll jump over to the 90s side and Cantaloupe coming in. It could have been a number 1 seed, but a number 2 seed over Missing. 75-38. You know, a little lower vote total on that one, but I think Cantaloupe might have a chance here to move on to the Final Four. This is going to be an interesting bracket on that quadrant.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ryan?
Rhythm of the Night got a lot of love. That was in a really close matchup with Unbelievable in round 1.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, pulled 95 votes versus Cantaloupe, which crushed Missing, but only got 75 votes.
Right.
I think that could be. I think that's going to be a really good matchup. I have no idea where it's going to fall, though.
Yeah, and
may the best song win.
No disrespect to Missing. We are an Saturday Night Live happy podcast here, and shout out to the Mango sketch with Missing. Unfortunately, they don't have any of the good ones on YouTube, so you can't look any of those up. Sorry about that, but if you ever get a chance, check those out. A good use of that song.
Is there anywhere where you have like summaries of each of the versions of the Mango sketch?
So first, Garth Brooks goes to a bar because his team is taking him out for the night, and they first discover it's a bar where people remove clothing. He's not happy about that already because he's a country superstar.
Yeah.
But then they realize,
imagine if TMZ was there,
right? And then they realize it's a bar where men remove clothing.
Oh,
and
scandalous!
Oh, it all goes downhill from there. But we'll leave that for another episode. The finality of that story. So
cliffhanger,
cliffhanger indeed. That's a easy. I don't know, a cliffhanger.
Sure.
That's it.
All right.
After that, You Gotta Be over Counting Blue Cars. This was a domination, even bigger than our last one. And I love You Gotta Be. This is a great tune.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, You Gotta Be great. Very like, it reminds me a lot of those like posters they used to have, all over at school and stuff that would say like, courage. And then, it'd be like people in like whitewater rafting or something, you know what I mean? And it would say like courage. And then underneath it would say, like, if you're not scared, you can't be brave or something like that. That's basically like, You Gotta Be is like that come to life, platitudes. But it's it's a great song. I mean, it is honestly like A, it's a banger, but B, it's like I feel like it's pretty inspirational. Um
Oh, indeed.
Counting Blue Cars is a really good song too. Um and
They were the first to, uh, maybe not the first, but first to be recognized as considering God as a female in a song. Um, at least that's what Wikipedia says, but I don't know if we should give them credit for that.
groundbreaking stuff.
Seriously,
Have you ever,
super groundbreaking stuff.
have you ever heard the Blue Man Group cover of Counting Blue Cars?
I have not.
There's no lyrics, believe it or not. All PVC pipes.
Which, do they still only count the blue cars?
Yep.
Seems kind of prejudiced.
Yep.
Uh, after that, we had Groove is in the Heart over I Try. Um, I also, another one of my favorites, Groove is in the Heart. I think it's got a really good chance to go a long way. I Try, a fantastic song. Love the comments from David P. Talked about seeing Macy Gray open up for David Bowie.
Oh wow,
And
I missed that.
yeah, that was. I mean, I would love to have been at that show. What an amazing opportunity there.
I know, just for Macy Gray alone. I mean, she is a legend.
Yeah. But yeah, Bowie's set was a little weird that night, apparently. But Groove also, we talk about pop culture references. I like that it had been featured in Big Mouth recently as they took donations for Planned Parenthood. The way they used the song in the show talked about one of the parents, journey through the difficulty of not wanting kids and then wanting kids and whatnot, and it was a great way to show that. And so I thought that was a cool pop culture reference that the song had recently.
It's a great song. I saw there was a woman who was at my restaurant last week who was wearing a dress that was very like reminiscent of the lead singer of D-Light. And I almost said something to her like, that's like such a cool look. You kind of remind me of the singer from the band D-Light. But then I was like, maybe I'll just keep this one to myself.
You never know. Maybe she hated D-Light. Maybe she stole her look.
Maybe it was a Rage Against D-Light kind of vibe.
You never know. You don't want to make that mistake.
No.
And then rounding out our sevens versus twos, and I think this might have been the biggest one. Very very close. We had a lot of huge defeats, but this is how we do it. 108 to 25 over I Touch Myself.
I have 35 here.
Oh, 35.
Yeah.
Oh, then I was wrong. Look at me.
But it still, that's like that's just over 3 times the score. If I'm doing that math right, Miss Egley.
I'm really surprised that I'm not surprised that this is how we do it. One, but in this time of quarantine, I'm surprised that an ode to masturbation got this little love.
I voted for I Touch Myself.
Of course you did.
I think it's just like a really great pop song. And I think that This Is How We Do It kind of suffered from the same thing as, I said about Torn in the last episode, where it's just like noise to me. I've heard it so many times that it's hard to separate it from, just the sound of life, It doesn't really sound like music. It sounds like background noise.
You must not have been a Austin Powers fan and falling asleep to that DVD every night and having the I touch myself scene playing over and over again.
No, I'm a I'm I'd say on the scale of like 1 to 10, I'm probably like a 4 on my Austin Powers fandom. Like, I really liked the first one a lot. I would say I even loved it when it came out. And then I thought the second one was like not very good. I never saw the third one. I don't even know if there were more after that.
On a scale of do I and make you horny, you probably fall in the area of
I fall in the area of Randy.
you fall in the area of Basil.
Yeah.
But that rounds it out for our 7s and 2s. Gets us into the second round. We've all been voting on the second round for a couple of days here, but we got some interesting matchups coming up. I think we've got St. Elmo's Fire versus I Melt With You. That's another fire matchup. That one's gonna get hot. Is it gonna get hot?
I think so. I mean, I Melt With You just can't catch a break as far as staying away from fire.
Trying. Then we've got I think another fun one's going to be Rhythm of the Night versus Cantaloupe. I think that's kind of a that early 90s, tone of just, hit music, like what's going to come out there. Depends on what people associate with more.
Yeah. The one I'm really looking forward to, just kind of looking through this 90s bracket, is Flagpole Sitta versus Groove Is in the Heart. I think Groove Is in the Heart is going to win, but there was a lot of love for Flagpole Sitta, so I think that one could be close. I'd also like to just, in the last... I didn't pick a winner or anything, but I did mention twice that the matchup I was most looking forward to of the second round was Baby Got Back versus Return of the Mac. And I was so happy that Return of the Mac took down the behemoth behind of Baby Got Back.
That was crazy. Yeah, just so we'll get into it more on our next episode, but we've had some really, really close matchups lately. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that Groove Is in the Heart versus Flagpole Sitter, that's going to be an interesting one.
I also think It Takes Two versus 99 Luftballoons could be a low key, really close matchup.
Yeah.
I hope
that'll be interesting.
I hope 99 Luftballoons has enough ammo to move on, because I think it could take down Iran. I think it could move on to the Final Four. I think it could be the champion of the bracket because it's that great of a song. But It Takes Two, I mean, got 108 votes and just beat the tar out of Too Shy in the first round. So who knows? That's going to be a...
Ahmadinejad is a fan on Facebook. And he says nobody takes down Iran.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry. Yeah.
Damn you.
Sorry. If you would have said Iron Sheik, I would have I would have gotten it.
Was he from Iran?
I think so.
Okay. Well, tune in for our obscure WWE wrestlers tournament.
WWF.
Yeah, WWF. Fuck the World Wildlife Foundation. No, don't. Sorry. Protect all animals, but also, come on, just share that moniker. Like let them have it.
We can have 2 WWFs.
Think about how much money professional wrestlers could raise for the World Wildlife Foundation.
Totally.
Yeah.
If every kid who wanted to buy tickets to go see a wrestling match went to the World Wildlife Federation and donated $150 and thinking they were buying tickets, that's a win-win.
And if every wrestler 10% of his steroid budget to the World Wildlife Foundation. That would raise a lot of money too.
Yeah.
They don't do steroids anymore. I'm sorry. I should not besmirch the good names of all those steroid users. I'm sorry.
Abusers.
I did want to say I'm actually excited about I Wish versus This Is How We Do It. Yeah. I feel like that is a suburban white kid's nightmare having to decide between those two songs.
Those are two very beloved tracks, and that's one of the, oh my God, I'm just realizing in the 90s bracket, in those bottom matchups, it's all the favorites won. So, I mean, you've got the two seed versus the 3 seed in all 4 matchups there. Yeah. As opposed to the 80s where it's 2 versus 6, 2 versus 6, 2 versus 6, 2 versus 6. So none of the 3 seeds in the 80s won.
Yeah, but it's gonna be tough. I mean, get your board shorts out. Gotta get those board shorts going. Get your 90s look on. Prepare to wish to be a little bit taller.
Yeah.
And decide what you're gonna do on Friday night, because this is how we do it. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm terrible at this. I'm sorry.
The party is here on the west side.
The last thing I wanted to ask you, because we've had some weird matchups here, like, how do you feel about the way the voting's been going? Does an extreme defeat, does that mean everybody's more passionate? Does a really close matchup mean everybody's more passionate? How do you feel about the results so far?
I think that I don't know. I think that's a tough question to answer. I can tell you, I think that a narrow defeat is more heartbreaking than getting trampled, where like you open the matchup 20 minutes after it starts and it's 37-3 and you're like, oh, okay, I guess Let the Music Play is not going to sneak out a victory here. but when you have like one of those matchups where it goes right down to the wire and it's going back and forth, like, we'll talk about it more in the next episode, but What's Up versus Torn, where it was like 10:30 and I'm like, oh my God, What's Up is up by like 7 votes now. There's no way that Torn is going to come back and win. And then I checked it like an hour later and it's like, Torn's up by 4 now. So it's, I think that's more heartbreaking for sure than just getting it over with, pulling the Band-Aid off right away. As far as like passion, I don't know. It's tough to say. I think that most people just kind of go with their first instinct and, because there are a lot, I think that there are a lot of times, I mean, just kind of speaking for myself, where it's pretty easy. You look at it and you go, I love this song. I don't care for this song. Or I hate this song and I'm all right with this song. Or I love this song and I just kind of like this song, Every once in a while, there'll be one where it's like, I have no idea who to vote for right now. There was one last week where I was just like, I have no idea. I can't remember what it was, but it was a really tough one. And it wasn't tough because it was my 2 favorite songs. It was tough because I was just like, oh, it was closing time in Love Fool. I was just like, I'm
going to give a preview to everybody. I'm going to pause you here and give a preview to everybody. Finally, we have defeated the scourge that is Closing Time. We have taken it down and Love Fool has moved on. We'll get into that more in our next episode. But I have to say, and I completely and wholeheartedly discourage troll culture and taking joy in other people's defeat. But I do really enjoy it when something is losing so heartedly and somebody in the comment section is like, how is this losing? How can they, and I agree with them. Like, majority of the time I'm completely agreeing with them, but it does, again, that's why we do this. We got to find ways to make this all fun. That's what makes it fun, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, well, cool. I think that about wraps it up for what we got on this week's episode. Looking forward to more second round matchups and moving on into the Elite Eight of this tournament. And then we've teased it and kind of talked about, but we should have our. I guess the best way we're calling it is the most iconic scary movies of the last 50 years, iconic horror movies of the last 50 years.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to start it, is to
Yeah.
think of iconic movies, because it's you know, that's a way to make sure that the most popular movies get out, and the ones that are great, quote unquote, capital G, are in the tournament. Um, but I feel like it's hard to vote on how iconic something is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that, ultimately we'll have to vote on how much something is liked. You know what I mean? So, like,
Right. Right.
favorite scary movie or something like that.
Yeah,
But
of course.
yes, it's gonna be scary movie related. All Stellan Skarsgård, but all scary movies. And
Well, and
um,
everybody, that's the tough thing. Just so people know how much effort we put into this, that we're not just throwing things at the wall willy nilly. Everybody has a different opinion of what is scary to them or what is their favorite horror. In that genre. So we're trying to make something that appeals to everybody in that genre. So, but also includes Stellan Skarsgård. So
yeah, it's a pretty big Venn diagram, surprisingly. Um, no, and there are definitely that's a great point, that there are definitely certain movies that don't scare people at all, or wouldn't, like, I know the movie Jesus Camp, I see listed on a lot of people's scariest movies of all time. Um, which definitely is true to some extent. And there's other movies, like the movie I talked about, I think with our first Questos and Recos, Boys State, I would
mm-hmm.
say has a little air of that too, where it's just like, God, this makes me feel really uneasy for some reason. Um, but we're kind of looking at classic horror movies from the last 50 years.
Yeah.
So we're limiting it to from 1970 to 2020. We're breaking it down into four separate brackets, or four separate categories, that kind of cover different areas or subgenres of horror movies. So it
Yeah.
should be it's going to be a new method to making a bracket. Not only with having different genres and different subgenres and different quadrants, but also I think this time, like with anything, the more we do this, the better we get at it, or the better we think we're getting at it. And I think that we learn things with every bracket we put out. And one thing I think we learned is that we do have to put more stock in how popular things are. Um, and so I think that taking something like how iconic movies are, and taking that approach as opposed to what our favorite horror movies are, is going to make for rankings, seatings that make a little more sense to everybody. And there's not going to be anything like, oh, how come Baby Got Back is an 8 seed? That doesn't make any sense. This should be a little bit more black and white, where, you'll, it will kind of make sense to everybody.
Well, I will agree with you that we have learned some things. I think we have learned that our voters are crazy, having voted closing time over How Bizarre. That's the first thing we've learned. And secondly, I've learned that you're crazy and I want to live in the gray area instead of the black and white. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No,
all hot takes. I love all the fans. I think they're really, really smart, and I really value all their opinions. So,
no, we really do. I want to give a quick shout out to just anybody and everybody right now. Took a look at how many people and where people are listening to the podcast from, and it is extremely scattered. It's not a huge number of you that are listening to us. Well, but you know what? That's more love to you. We don't have to spread out the love as much with less listeners, but the listeners are spread all over, and I really appreciate that. It makes me happy that we can provide some goofy fun to different people all over the board, and that's what we're here for. So.
Can I make one quick reco before we sign off here?
I would love for you to hold that quick reco. I'm just kidding. No, I would love for you to make a quick reco.
I would love for you to shut the fuck up and let me close this show. So, me and Jake are both, in the deep end of fantasy football right now. I just had my only redraft fantasy football draft yesterday. Jake has had a few, but he just finished one of his drafts today. So this is something that both of us are really passionate about. We both, it's fantasy football, fantasy sports are like a big part of our lives as well. But football in general, one of the best pieces of football related entertainment every year is Hard Knocks on HBO. It's whether or not you like football or care about football, I wholeheartedly recommend this show. I have had people that I've watched it with who are not into football at all, don't know any of the players' names, and are like, go home and continue watching it and call me and say oh my God, I can't believe that so-and-so didn't make the team, because it sucks you in. It's kind of like a documentary version of something like Friday Night Lights or something, because it does kind of take it off the field too, and you get to see these players at home with their families, and kind of see what their day-to-day lives are like. It has Liev Schreiber as the narrator, who is at this point, legendary status in the narration game. He is so good on that show. I mean, it's going on probably 15 years now that it's been on the air, and it's 5 episodes, but every year it's just gold for 5 weeks. It's so good. And this year, because of COVID, it's a weird year for the show. It's definitely not the best year, but it's one of the best pieces of COVID content that I've seen. It's really, really fascinating to get an inside scoop on how the NFL is managing, opening with COVID protocols. And it's really, really cool, interesting, fun, funny. Highly recommend. It's on HBO Max. All the past seasons are on there too, but Yeah, great show. Check it out.
You made me think of something as you were talking. How there has to be a way to, shorten or a hyphened version because it's going to come up so many more times as we go forward in the entertainment world. How do we shorten because of COVID?
Oh boy, that's a great question.
Do we say BOC?
I think DTC due to COVID.
DTC. Or D2C?
D2C, yeah.
D2C?
It also sounds like down to something, like down to clown.
Well, I just, I was going for this job, but then I had a D2C.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? I think that would work.
Juicy D2C.
I had a real juicy D2C.
Yeah.
We solved it.
Yep.
We got it. All right. So, yeah, if we're looking to hire people and you got to give us a D2C, we understand. So, well, that wraps it up for this week's episode. Thanks for joining in, and we'll talk to you guys real soon.
Thank you. Bye.